Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm showing you how I make layered embellishments. This is a great way to use up scraps of paper or little odds and ends, little mismatched pieces of embellishment or ephemera that you possibly won't use anywhere else. I'll start off by making the base little template. I use a circle shape. You can use any shape you like. You could also punch these out with a punch if you have. I don't have one, so I just cut them out. And I do actually like the rough end, that it's not a perfect circle, but you can do those sort of any way you like. I just use different papers. I like to tear the strips. I tend to have a bit of a format of how I do these. Each one is different, but I do tend to put two pieces of paper or cardstock layered on top of each other before I put the other embellishments on. So you sort of work with what you have and you see what you like. There's no right and wrong really. You just see what colors you like. Here I've added some Hessian thread that I've just wrapped around my fingers 3 times to make the loops, and then I staple it. With these embellishments I use just a stapler and a hot glue gun. I find if I use craft glue it takes too long to dry and I'm a bit impatient, so the staple works just fine, and then the hot glue gun for the top layers if you don't want to see the staples. I have little words and phrases that I like to add onto these. I have some die cuts. I'm using a little rose die cut here and a little blackberry one, and some wording that I've added on. And I also, just underneath this, I've used some cheesecloth, just the threads of some, just to bring a little bit of texture to this. This is a little wooden embellishment, little wooden arrow that I'm sticking on, and that embellishment is done. I carry on and do a few others with other pieces of cardstock that I have. You can really have a lot of fun with these. You could create these actually directly onto a page or onto the cover of your journal or planner, or you could just make them separately and add them later as you need. You can make them color coordinated to match a certain project. These ones are just all mixed and matched. I quite like the bright colors. You could also just make them very vintagey using coffee stained papers and bus tickets that are vintage or other vintage ephemera. You tend to move little items back and forth, see what suits it. A lot of times you could do one really quickly, others take really long until you find the way you like it to look. I made these on New Year's Eve, actually, while I was waiting for 12 o'clock to approach. I just went into my craft room for about an hour until 11:30, and I created these. You can make them pretty quickly actually, and they're actually quite addictive. So once you start you might not be able to stop, and you make quite a few. They're also great to give as RAKs, to send them as happy mail to someone, gift them, do them as swaps. And there's the second one done, and now I'm going to do the third one in a very similar fashion. This one took a little bit longer for me to create. I did have a little bit of fiddling with different colors until I could get something that worked for me. Then I've used a little pom-pom trim that I just glue on with the hot glue gun, just to add a bit of texture. You can make these quite flat if you want them for inside your journal, so it's not too chunky, or you can layer them up with wooden embellishments like I have, or even buttons. Then they become quite chunky. They look good for covers. I have used them on some of my covers on my journals that you could see in some of my other videos. Or you could make them, like I say, quite flat. You could have as many layers as you like. Here I'm just trying to get the right stamp color. I quite like the green, so I'll go with that with a wooden frame embellishment. I'm using the looped Hessian string again. I quite like the look of this and I use it quite often. I think I need to find another color though. I only have the Hessian, so it becomes a little bit monotonous maybe. I need to get my hands on some other colors. Just going to glue this down. Trying to get some buttons to work, but first we'll put some cheesecloth and the wording. Little heart embellishment. Just finding the position for that. And there you go, my 3 embellishments are complete. Here I'm creating another 4 layered embellishments. These 4 are going to be the same but slightly different. The colors will be different. The reason I'm making these like this is that I'm including one each in my January mystery pack that I sell in my Etsy store. So if you purchase the January mystery pack, you will receive one of these embellishments. So I've used a little bit of Hessian string just to add some texture, and I'm adding a silk flower with a button center. I'm then also going to be including a little wooden arrow embellishment to finish off each of these. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel and thanks for watching.